Well, this is bound to be boring to shit, and I apologize to you for that, but I've just been told that YouTube's going to be running maintenance tonight, so I'm not going to be able to start my shuffles at the usual 10:30 time. To say the least, this is a problem. Granted, I have 0 viewers, so nobody's listening to this at the point at which I'm putting it up here. I'm gonna, I guess, put the link in the description, because why the hell not? Because it's just me sitting here at this point, and will be for a while, so excuse the boredom with that. Um, I'll just put the link in the description while I'm sitting here talking in the background because I have to mute that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So I'm not going to be able to start my. Shut up. That's when you get to tell yourself to shut up, I suppose. There we go. I've said it's the first round of invites, but as I said, since they're doing maintenance tonight, we're kind of screwed in general. Not that there's any viewers anyway, of the whopping 52 subs I've gotten so far. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Let's see now. I should put this in some of my groups. Let's see now. The no bullshit group. Well, that's a good place to start. Very definitely. Yeah, you see, these aren't nearly as fun when I don't have anyone to bounce things off of. When it's just me sitting here talking at the screen, that gets kind of dull really quick. So, and once again, I don't technically have any topics. So, anyway, if anyone bothers to view this, come along, etc. In the meantime, I'm just kind of wasting time. See if I can get some of the folks in my groups here to show up. That'd be kind of nice. Hello to viewers. As I said, it's a little bit early. Nobody here. But normally the shuffles start at about 10:30, but YouTube is doing maintenance tonight at 9, so I'm having to start it early. Otherwise, it's not going to happen at the regular hour. So I'm just kind of screwing around at the moment with nothing better to do. You're welcome to join in. The link should be in the description now. And I'm seeing if I can get somebody in here. I just did want it to hit 9 o'clock before I got the room filled once I found out they were going to be doing freaking YouTube maintenance on Hangouts and whatnot. I don't know, I'm tempted to just say help and read a story here. Floundering. Get used to it. Let's see. I'd have the little, waiting to start screen, but yeah, I only have like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes here. And nobody seems to be around. I can ask Rand if he wants to come in and jaw for a while. That'd be fun. Actually, on that thought, let's invite some more folks from more groups, because who the fuck knows who the hell's out there tonight? Let's see now. No, not that group. Let's go to acquaintances and extras. If I can get it to load in here. Come on, piece of shit. Oh, there we go. There we go. I might invite the religious folks to the hell of it, because who cares at this point? There we go. And for the hell of it, invite Fruity for the hell of it. Why not? He might be around. You never know. Yeah, I also don't have the circles that I have with my regular group here, so there's that as an additional nuisance. Also bad for the two people that are actually watching this. Well, my wife's over here laughing at me. Well, I do kind of feel sorry for him. I'm just padding time. I'm like an hour and a half from shuffle time here, but I have to start the junk now if I want to have a hangout at all.
Maybe they should ask to join instead of just watching.
Well, the link's in there. They can join if they want to, but they're just sitting there listening, going, okay, let's watch. He didn't sit there and flounder for a while here.
Oh, well, I can see the draw for that.
Yeah, it's always good to sit around and just watch somebody flounder going, yeah, I'm padding time. Oh, hey, Prudent, how's it going, man?
Wait a minute, you were just doing an
I'm literally padding time. The shuffle's not supposed to start for another hour and a half.
All right.
10:30 is when I usually start them. My time, that is. But
all right.
He's doing maintenance tonight at 9.
So
if I'm planning on having to shuffle, I have to start like an hour and a half fucking early before anyone's around.
Okay, all right. I just got like a notification in my box. I said, oh, cool, I'll show up to this. Oh, nice Christmas tree in the background, man.
Yeah, we just finished putting it up, yeah. It was actually kind of fun in a hangout I was in yesterday. Nate popped in there, and I hadn't seen him in ages, and he goes, oh, that's a nice holiday tree you have there. I'm like, dude, it's okay, it's a Christmas tree. It might not be that I'm Christian or anything like that, but it's still Christmas. It's still a Christmas tree. I'm not threatened by that little cultural.
Oh fuck yeah, I know. It's like just because I might not be a religious person, like I'll probably still celebrate Christmas in the
Give me the
future.
presents, motherfucker. Give me the presents, you know?
Damn right, damn
Another
right.
happening in the sleigh.
Oof.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I've pretty much already thought this one over. If I ever am lucky enough to have kids of my own, I probably will just say, yeah, the whole Santa thing. Like, I'm not even gonna take it seriously with them. I'll just be like, yeah, it's just a bunch of weird shit adults like to do with their kids.
Well, the thing is, the Santa thing is actually kind of fun. You know, I don't really knock that.
I don't know. It
Um,
doesn't seem like so much fun to me.
my daughter got to a certain age, and she kind of looked at me, and for all intents and purposes said, "So Santa's bullshit, isn't he?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just don't tell your brother."
Whereas I, being an only child, got up to high school, and my parents said, well, you know, you figured it out by now, but if you stop believing, he'll stop coming. And I was logical enough to go, I want presents. So we literally did not stop doing Santa Claus in my house until I went to college. And that was only because I looked at my mom and I said, you know, the logistics of this are going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, I tried something along a similar concept with my younger one, and I explained to him. I said, you know, Santa isn't actually real, but I'm willing to forget that you figured this out as long as you don't bring it up again. We can just pretend he's real and pretend that we never had this conversation, okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. So then 2 years later, his mother and stepfather are sitting there talking with him and asking him those religious-related questions, and he informed them that, no, I don't believe in God, I believe in Santa, and I believe in Jesus. Completely confused the hell out of the...
I don't. That's funny. That's funny.
Although I'm pretty sure that
You want to
Santa
know?
is doing stockings this year.
I don't know. With my son, he might have actually thought that Santa loaded baby Jesus in the sleigh. He gets weird with stuff sometimes. I don't know. Hey, Muskie, how's it going, man?
Not bad, 13. How are you tonight, man?
Pretty good. So do you actually celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay. So another person that doesn't believe in all the stuff that enjoys the tree and the gifts and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you might as well, you know, if you're going to have a midwinter pagan ceremony, might as well do it right.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not like the one that comes around in the fall that you get to go out and dance around in the woods. So it's not quite that fun.
Yeah, well, that's the one where you got to go get the turkey, right? So.
Why haven't we gone danced around in the woods?
Because Kylie hasn't invited us to go to one.
Oh, darn it.
She goes every year. It's always a bunch of weird naked people in the woods.
Cool.
Ooh. Do you guys want to hear a little funny story about my little the Santa story when I realized that it was a bunch of BS when I was 8?
Oh, cool. Go for it.
Oh my God! When I was 8 years old, and I think around the Christmas time was approaching, I was absolutely terrified of Santa because I just thought it was creepy. I was like, why is this guy break into our house? Why is he the whole year around? That is such a horrible thing. Why does such a person exist? Why is this guy not in jail? Like, and I was always like, so wait a minute, is Santa reading my thoughts? Am I committing a thought crime? I mean, I went into full-on 1984 mode, man. I went into full-on 1984 mode. And finally, like, when it was like, oh, it's okay, man. He doesn't exist. It's all a bunch of made-up stuff. That was the biggest relief I've ever felt, I'm going to be honest.
Well, let me try it this way. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. yeah, I can get it.
We gotta market that, man.
Didn't Futurama do that?
Yeah, they did actually. There was a Santa robot going around like killing anyone that was out wandering the streets on Christmas Day.
Robo Santa.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And incidentally, hey, Toby Kid.
Hey.
And how are you doing today on this strangely lit up evening?
It's really good. It just started smoking today, so.
I'm going to have to turn up your volume. Let me do that. There we go. Should be more audible now.
You mean you just started today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Vaping
So
or
are we
what?
talking about Christmas tonight? Oh yeah, this isn't smoking. This is pussy smoking. But yeah.
Yeah. It's kind the vaping thing initially just confused the heck out of me because I initially went to like e-cigarettes and this and that to try and quit, but then somebody said it's like a hookah, you moron, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Pocket hookah.
Yeah, it's a pocket hookah. Yeah, at that point it made sense because there's a lot of different I don't know if you want to call them flavors or scents that are actually kind of nice. That's why I keep a pipe up here for my rum-soaked tobacco.
Oh,
Right.
I had I've only taken one inhale of smoke in my entire life, and it was completely on accident. I thought it was like one of those little fake cigarettes that people have because they have some of those sometimes. And then someone told me like, oh no, that thing's real. And I kind of just rushed to the bathroom and oh, okay then. I was like, oof, I had to like rub my mouth out. The weird thing was I had that weird craving for another inhale, and I had to like hold myself. I had to like restrain myself.
Couldn't after one, when you get the head rush?
Yeah, I really did get a little
Got
bit.
the head rush. He's like, I want to smoke dope now.
Well, to be fair,
It's a gateway drug, man. I know you're wanting to reach for that crack pipe any minute after, right?
well, the thing is, I mean, I know people always talk about marijuana like being a gateway drug. I mean, it's really alcohol and tobacco that really are based on the research that we have now.
Man, I don't even know how much those are necessarily gateway drugs. I mean, the thing with tobacco, and it annoys me, is trying to get rid of the habit's hard. The nicotine's a nuisance, but even more so than that, because I'm down to ultralights now. I've been cutting back in some ways at least. But it's a little bit less the nicotine for me and more the physical portion of the habit.
I've heard that. Yeah.
The habitual reaction, like I gotta have that smoke in my fingers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's part of it, and worse yet is all the the billboards and ads and this and that. The more people start talking about not smoking, the more you think smoke, must smoke. It's because it reminds you that you haven't had one in a while, so it's like, okay.
That makes sense. That makes
Me and a bunch of friends that used to play role-playing games refer to it as trying to make your saving throw versus cigarette. Roll the dice. Nope, gotta smoke.
I've even carried a D20 before. Do it literally.
Yeah, that way you might actually not smoke.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to really trust. The thing is, that's how slimy these tobacco companies can be sometimes. They spend a lot of money on advertising. I don't know how much money they spend yearly on this, but they do spend quite a bit. If I can try to find out the exact numbers.
In addition to that, there's also a couple groups that have gotten federal funding to run quit smoking ads. And that honestly doesn't make it any easier. I mean, it's not like the ads are going to dissuade you from actually smoking. They're just going to get you to, think, oh, when did I last have one? Do I want one? I want one. Yeah.
I'll wait till they start guilting you because, secondhand smoke in your children, secondhand smoke in your neighbors. See, up here, that program's been going in effect now for about 20 years.
Oh, man.
We have cities where it's illegal to smoke outside.
We actually,
What?
I've gone out to restaurants. And after getting out of the restaurant, you go, and there's this one area that you can basically smoke by the furthest corner. And there'll be people that'll walk through the cloud of smoke, and then give you a dirty look and give you shit about secondhand smoke. It's like, you could have taken one step to the right.
Yeah.
You saw 3 people here by the ashtray smoking. Why did you divert your course to come this way?
Yep.
Yeah.
I always like secondhand smoke. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, the fact is that we know is this. Tobacco companies do target minors. They do target, obviously, college students or college-age people. Because, I mean, let's face it, nobody starts smoking in their late 20s. It's that critical, I think the age range is 16 through 25. I mean, that's the audience, the tobacco companies.
I'd say the age range is probably closer to about 12 to 18.
Probably, honestly.
All right, I guess.
High school, man. Junior high and high school. That's what would be the big target range, I'm sure of it.
I guess we can probably subdivide them into 2 groups. I would say 12 to 18, then 18 through 25 is your secondary group you go for. But you don't ever go for anybody in 25 onward.
No, because people usually have their habits made by that time. They're kind of a little bit more concrete. Whereas when they're a teenager, you're still forming your life habits, lifestyle.
Well, I mean,
And so whatever you create is what you will have for probably the rest of your days.
and we also know.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure-
true. But have you
Go ahead, Toby. Please.
ever been onto the website for any of the websites for e-cig companies? It's really depressing how desperately they try to use like the lingo of people my age and how they try to be so modern and hip. There's no question that they're marketing to people my age and younger.
Yeah, with that and the vaping as well. Vaping's become a huge thing, which to me is just absolutely hilarious because, you know, stamp out smoking, here, have a vape.
Okay, I have it's just a quick Google search when I was trying to remember how much they spend in advertising, the tobacco companies. In 2011, just based on the CDC fact sheet, 8.37 billion in 2011. That's the latest data we have. Fucking insane.
What's the data for?
The tobacco
For how much the tobacco companies spend on advertising. Latest data, 2011, 8.37 billion. Holy fuck.
A lot of that's flyers that are sent out to the mail to pre-existing smokers, and the little bit of advertising they do is, you shouldn't smoke. You know, smoke, you shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't smoke. Because they know that the more you talk about smoking, the more a person that does smoke is like, give me a cigarette.
Yep.
I think it's the same psychology is even used with like the lottery, where it's like, you got a gambling addiction, like you shouldn't be gambling, or you shouldn't be using the lottery or gambling. I mean, they're the same thing.
Oh, it actually took a long time for a lottery to be approved up in Massachusetts because they're so uptight about gambling laws up there. And they're like, no, this is a form of legalized gambling. And they went on and on and on. And somebody said, okay, see how much money your state can make if you actually have a lottery system? And they said, yes, we will do this.
I'm really surprised Massachusetts was such a pushover. They tend to be the most liberal state out there. You would think they would.
Oh, no. They're considered liberal in a lot of ways, but in terms of a lot of their viewpoints, it's still a lot of conservative views. It's just not that right-wing kind of conservative we're used to dealing with.
When he was growing up, you couldn't have a deck of cards in public.
You can't play cards in a restaurant because of gambling laws.
We're talking Uno.
We're not just talking Uno. We're talking like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever. Any kind of card game, you can't play them. For that matter, you can't play a role-playing game in a restaurant because you might be gambling because there's dice involved.
And this is all in Massachusetts?
Yeah. In a lot of ways, they're still incredibly... Now, whether you want to say conservative or just fucking uptight, I think that's not uptight.
Yeah. I've heard so many like bad things about the state of Massachusetts. It looks pretty good on paper. Like they always brag about how well they do in education and healthcare, but there's just so many other factors too. I mean, they're so awful in transportation. I mean, I hear...
No, they're not awful in transportation up there. They're really not.
Freddie.
They've got a pretty good public transportation system up there. Down here in Texas, they have none, almost. But
Here in Arizona, we're just
it's
like...
actually pretty damn good for the majority of the state. But you start getting out too far west, it's kind of crap. But I mean, if you're as long as you're within the hub, which is basically like two section wagon wheel with that you have what is it, 128 and 495, I think it is. As long as you're within those two belts, you're pretty good.
All right.
Maybe we have the subway, and then we have trains going to where the subway is. What are you whining about, puppy?
Maybe what I meant by transportation, I just meant by driving. I mean, like, I hear the traffic's pretty bad. I should have...
Oh, it is, yeah, but it's horrible just about everywhere when you're going by a major metropolis.
Yep.
Oh, Queenie left.
Oh,
She'll probably be back. We'll see. Hey, Jade.
hello. Oh, by the way, that playing cards in a restaurant thing isn't unique to Massachusetts.
California?
Well, I don't think California, but I know a number of Midwest states.
Arizona, probably.
And probably other states. I'd have to look it up. And it was used as a control mechanism because, so people didn't walk in and someone who's going, oh, we're just playing Old Maid or whatever,
Well, isn't Arizona trying to enact a law that that you're not allowed in the state unless the shade of your skin is slightly darker than paper? Like paper, what is it? By paper scale, it'd be like not 80% or higher or something like that. They are the ones that have all the weird immigration laws, aren't they? Or am I thinking a different one? New Mexico X might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well,
Annoying.
both New Mexico and Arizona have passed some, or tried to pass some, very strange laws recently.
Yeah.
So they've
Yeah.
gone a little nutty.
Yeah, Arizona. It's not exactly the place where you're gonna love the politicians. At least not many people in this community. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of a little bit backwards, you might say, in Arizona in that regard.
It's weird because here's how Arizona, at least the Phoenix Valley is like. You have one half that's like it's all Mormons, and like the other half, it's the evangelicals. I live in the Mormon area, which isn't too bad. I mean, say what you want about the Mormons, they are very nice and very intelligent people. They just have
They are now. Early on in that group, oh my gosh, they were horrific, but they've apparently grown up a bit since then.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's like the evangelical area. I mean, I went to a school like where, I mean, it was like 70% WASP. I'll put it that way.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, since we have Jade in here, I have a question for you, Jade.
Sure.
I understand that from everything you've told me, it had been dry in California to the point that it was about ready to blow off into the sunset for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're getting oodles of rain. So how much of your state is still land, and how much of it has now been flushed into the ocean?
Well, I think most of it is mud right now. Freddie, no, not there. Those white buckets you get at stores and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I had 2 white buckets out before all the rain started, because I use them for gardening, to put different stuff in there. And after the very first rain, they had some rain in them, but I dumped it. They're overflowing now. And they're not sitting under an overhang or anything, so they're not getting stuff off of roofs or whatever. They're out in the
your garden
middle.
been drowned yet?
Oh, my garden is so drowned, I can't do anything with it. It's just soaked.
I was going to ask you if any gophers had floated up yet.
I'm hoping this will drown them all. It does happen occasionally. Gophers, like a lot of underground dwelling critters, when they build their burrows, the tunnel will go down, but then it'll take a little upturn and then go sideways, and that's where they live. So the water goes to the lower part, and they're actually living, a little bit above that, because the water obviously goes to the lowest part of the tunnels. But if it gets too swamped, it drowns them. So I'm hoping for, given the amount of rain we've had, I mean, for goodness sake, that's like over 12 inches. Now, a lot of California has not gotten that much, but I'm in a little valley that's, it's actually surrounded by hills on 4 sides, which sounds a little unusual. But on 2 sides are the valley hills, and at the other one end are the mountains, and then at the other end there's like a little tiny, like a narrow valley, or I'm not even sure you'd call it a valley, and on the other side of it are some hills. So, but because we're up against the mountains here, if the clouds aren't really high up, we get pounded because the atmospheric conditions, the clouds, they sort of stick here. You know what I mean? And so we really get pounded. Now, if there's a lot of wind, and there wasn't a lot of wind, if there's a lot of wind, the clouds blow across the mountains, and they usually don't hit the
surface. For a moment here.
Sure.
So, but anyway, just for the sake of the audience, normally shuffles start around about 10:30. There was a notice saying that Hangouts will not be able to be started after 9 o'clock through like 11. So I said, heck with it, decided to start it early. So we're running a little bit slow. The link is in the actual YouTube video. If anybody wants to jump in, feel free. We're just kind of goofing off.
So are they doing some work on Google Hangouts tonight or something?
Apparently from like 9 to 11 or something like that. Create or stop Hangouts or whatever. So I'm like, okay, let's start it at 9, and I'm kind of stuck with it for at least, I don't know. We'll see.
Stop them? They force you to keep going?
I figured I was going to be in here just floundering most of the time. And let me get your volume back up because you had to rejoin. Oh, there we go. Toby's back.
Sorry. It won't let you stop hanging us now?
No, I have a control for that, but it only goes so far. So let's see now. What do we have for topics today? Oh wait, we don't because I suck. No, normally I have
Do
a
we have any
couple hours.
viewers right now?
Yeah.
Actually gotten a lovely talk yesterday. I ended up hanging around for a while on Xbox's channel because I didn't feel like starting anything up last night. That night was actually a little bit behind schedule because I try not to start shuffles past a certain hour. So I ended up hanging out in Xbox channel, and after the show went off air, I got talking with a couple folks, and we were talking about how nice it is to be able to talk about things that have nothing to do with the great debate community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I might have started that conversation when I did because I didn't feel like getting into a discussion with a pre-supper.
Oh,
That might have been a factor, but
Well, it's kind of nice. It's like the pre-suppers have pretty much just backed off. At least in the past, I mean, pre-sup's been dead since. I mean, I'm trying to still think. When was the last time there was like a serious pre-supper conversation in this community?
well, the thing is, they're still very much there. Now they generally don't go full psi these days, but the way that they'll introduce that presuppositional argument or discussion rather is still very much there because you have the well, anyway. It's like not out.
Yeah.
yeah, but if I have no justification for my beliefs, then I have no justification for my existence, and I should just simply disappear.
Poof, and thus they disappeared in a puff of logic. That never happened.
I know, sadly.
Well, we pretty much.
I'm sorry,
sorry.
Bert. I was just going to say briefly that just put kind of a cool cartoon in my head. You know?
Actually, it reminds me of Douglas Adams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing that, what was it? The disproof of God thing that's in there that, but it says that without faith you cannot exist, and God says, oh, I hadn't thought of that, and then disappeared in a puff of logic.
Right, yeah, exactly. And
one of the most bizarre and fun lines from Hitchhiker's Guide, in my opinion, other than the whole so long and thanks for all the fish thing.
Yeah, that is good.
Greta, that was the title of one of them, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah.
As I've had get confirmation from two sources. And yeah, the doctor is going to stop annoying me.
I see you have a solstice tree up.
No, actually, that's a Christmas tree.
Oh, darn.
I'm not shy. It's a Christmas tree.
I'm just kidding.
It's the holiday. It's the convention. I'm not too worried. I got so you put up a holiday tree, did you? I'm like, nah, it's Christmas. It's fine. I don't give a
Yeah, of course I know.
It's Fat Man Day. We're okay with that.
It's Christmas. I loved Christmas as a little kid. I find it amusing sometimes that I see this, some people arguing about should you or should you not tell your kids about Santa every year?
Yes, you should.
Of course you should. I mean, I loved Santa. It was a marvelous fantasy. Even after my cousins told me there was no Santa, I insisted on believing in Santa.
No, there was 1 year, ages and ages ago, that I actually heard sounds on the rooftop, little kind of thing, and I'm like, so I laid down there, was dead quiet until all the sound stopped, then ran downstairs, and my parents were like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I heard Santa on the roof, I'm telling you. They're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, no, I did. And this argument went back and forth until my father says, oh, for crying out loud, that's not possible. And I'm like, huh? Then went up and I'm like, what did he mean by that? And I think not long after that. And I also, not long after that, found out what the sound of squirrels playing on a rooftop was.
That was it. As a child, I could have sworn a couple of times, off in the distance, I saw Santa and the reindeer in the sky. Given that I grew up in Long Beach, California, it was probably an airplane, but hey, so what?
Well, it's interesting what the mind can do to you when you're, looking for, wanting, or expecting to see a certain thing.
Or you see something and it fits in with some narrative you already know, like the time I saw a UFO.
Yeah.
Except I didn't. I was.
What when?
I was just going to say that I think my moment of starting to disbelieve as a young child and then being convinced that Santa was real was one year that there was a scrawled note in with my Christmas presents from Santa that it was Santa's handwriting. I'd seen it in his little "Thank you for the milk and cookies" note every year.
Yeah.
So it was Santa's handwriting, and it said to look in the backyard, and that something wouldn't fit down the chimney.
Oh.
And I looked in the backyard, and there was a trampoline.
Wow.
I knew those were expensive, and I knew my parents couldn't afford it.
Wow.
So I just knew at that point that Santa had to be real. Of course,
Right,
it was
right.
later that my grandparents pitched in on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. there's
Eventually, you
always-
learn how these mathematical tricks work.
Yeah.
Nope.
So anyway-
Not pagan tree, man. Telling you, that's a Christmas tree. I don't give a shit.
It's a Christmas tree.
There's angels on it and everything.
And by the way,
Cool.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Well, tell them to
I
get up.
have that-
Make them comfortable.
that's an angel, and that's an angel, and that's an angel, and that's an angel.
And how many of them are weeping angels?
None.
We need to get some.
Yeah, you do.
A friend of mine has a weeping angel tree topper.
Both
Oh,
of
how
them do.
cool.
Oh, they both?
Yeah.
Yes, both of my friends, yes. I know the couple we're talking about. So.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
I love that little thingy with the angels on it and the candles. When you light the candles, the angels dance around
Oh, yeah.
because the heat causes it to move. That's cool.
Toby's still pretty quiet, and Jackie's having mic problems, and Benna is just, well, Benna.
I'm a
And I gotta
teenager. I could
think.
babble if you want me to.
I'm going to have to start streaming these the other way so that we can actually see the little text from the sidebar that pops up in the bottom when they're doing this so people can see what Benna's commentary is. We can just have him in basically doing live commentary during shows from now on. Yeah. So we'll be sitting here talking about something straight while he's cracking jokes picking on us.
Testing.
Hey, we have...
we could hear you, Jackie.
Yay! I love you.
Love you
Turn
too.
on Q&A because I can.
I
So-
have an announcement to make.
Oh, there's an announcement? What kind of announcement?
Yeah.
Got the rice out of the boiling bag thingies without getting a steam burn.
I don't know
Nice.
why this was an announcement, but this public service announcement...
Congratulations.
Sure.
Okay, this public service announcement was brought to you by Red and the color red. And the
And
letter
rice.
R. I don't know.
Jasmine rice.
Jasmine.
Letter R.
So you're Jasmine, are you, you perv?
Yeah.
So I'm on another Vicodin high.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, quite fun.
So-
Not doing this again. Probably. I'm gonna give myself tomorrow. I'm gonna allow myself tomorrow, and then no more.
So how's your recovery going in general?
Huh?
How's the recovery going in general?
Really, really, really well.
Good.
I think the swelling is almost down.
Yeah, you're. I thought you said something the other day about being a little hot, so I was concerned.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So my computer is dead. It doesn't work anymore. So I'm not gonna be around a lot until I get my computer fixed, which will probably be. I won't be around a lot until I get to Iowa.
Nah.
So if I do any of these super secret up to 15 people offline things that nobody knows that I'm able to do under an account that nobody knows exists, other than I just reference that such a thing exists, I'm going to have to make sure to load that phone-in thing then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a phone-in. What are you doing? It has a phone-in feature that I can basically set up so there's a call-in line.
Yeah, I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome.
Yeah, I'll just make sure to try to remember to post those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you get to Iowa, is Kevin going to have time to fix your computer?
No, I'm sending in my computer to get fixed.
Oh,
It's a
you
laptop.
are?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jane,
that's
it's-
good. Yeah.
It's a laptop.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm
laptops are a whole different can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin and I are gonna be doing other things.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's very, very smart to send your computer ahead of time.
Well, just remember to go out at the habitat occasionally.
Well, just remember to stock in some food.
You know,
You're gonna need your energy. You know.
occasional outdoor air might do some good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to move to my phone because my sister just got home and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use her laptop.
Oh well,
Oh.
which do that's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm allowed to use it to troubleshoot because I was troubleshooting like my external monitor and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'm.
Well, go switch over. Don't worry. There's
Yeah.
plenty.
Alright.
Either
I mean-
that or periodically say computerese kind of stuff.
There's still over an hour until the actual shuffle begins. So.
Okay. I'll be back. Bye bye.
Take care, Jackie. We'll catch you later. Yep. Oh, and we have somebody else joining that apparently was popping in and watching the main thing because I've not seen the name before. Good to meet you. Incorporated looks like. And we have more silent people. Yay!
Yeah.
13.
I'm telling you, I'm going to just have to start.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
There's a voice. Rock on. How are you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you standard YouTuber, or are you one of these poor slobs from the great debate community? And if your answer is no, then you are one of the luckiest people on here.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. A lot of the folks that ended up in my hangout, partially because of where I've been hanging out before, are involved with this ridiculous community that quote debates theology / non-theology / whatever, and we kind of come to seek refuge from that nonsense periodically because after a while it just wears on you.
Well, I always thought the term great debate was a joke, both the great part and the debate part.
Both, honestly, because you know there are no actual debates in the community. There's nothing, frankly, all that great about it either.
No. I always thought it was a total tongue-in-cheek name for it.
What gets me though is I'll sit there and myself being the atheist and all this. I hear all this war on Christmas garbage, and I'm like, no, I like my Christmas tree. No, give me my presents.
Yeah.
There is no war. We want our presents.
We need presents. Hey, when I was a kid, I got presents for Hanukkah too.
I don't know. As I got older, I found I was tending to give more than I actually wanted. My wife gives me a hard time about this every year because she's like, I don't know what you want. And this year was the first time I'm like, actually, there is something I want. There actually is something. But normally, I'll be sitting there and I'll be watching her over the course of the entire year, and she'll be like, there'll be that one item or two items that she's like, I've had this on my wish list for 2 years now, and I just refuse to spend the money to buy it. I'm like making notes, okay. This year it was a corset. Told her she had to open it early.
And I missed the unveiling, damn it.
Yeah, you did. You
I
did.
know.
You missed the corset, yes.
Well, that's life.
Well, that's because I'm not doing that on air, but.
Yeah, of course not.
Oh, she tried it out, and I had her come over to show it off once I was able to put the camera on. Might have been a reason for that delay. I couldn't say what it was, but
My mom was a genius gift giver. She would gather stuff for people all year round for various occasions, We had an entire gift cupboard. And one of the cool things about it is occasionally you'd have someone show up for Christmas, a family member who's now dating someone with a child or whatever. My mom would just open the cabinet, find something, and the kid had a present.
One of the comments that was just made in here, I'm going to have to get used to names here. That incorporated or... Well, in any case, the comment was made that Christmas is overrated, and in a lot of ways I have to agree. It is incredibly commercialized, but at the same point, I like watching my kids when they open their presents, and I enjoy the hell out of that. Most of the time, I don't even worry about it. Me and my family, my friends, traditionally don't even bother with it because there's this weird feeling of obligation, like you have to give something, and that kind of cheapens it. But as for the most overrated, I don't know. I think the worst holiday is probably Valentine's Day.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the reasoning why I consider that to be the technical worst is because there's such pressure. You have to give that special person a gift, and all this other stuff. You have to go out of your way to try to make sure it's romantic, set the mood, and there's something about that that's forced.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When I was younger, there wasn't that big of a deal. And in school, we loved Valentine's Day because everybody would give everybody else. There was a rule: you had to give everybody in the class Valentine's cards. You didn't have to give cards, but if you did, you have to give one to everybody.
Well, there is
And as
actually a problem with that because Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to.
Yeah, but I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Ours got one today.
Yeah, apparently the one Jehovah's Witness at her school ended up getting their cards like the day after or something like that.
Oh, okay. And we'd all give each other like silly little gifts, like those little hearts with the sayings on them. And that was just fun, but it was just fun. It wasn't a big deal.
That's fun when you're a kid, but when you start getting older and you're involved in all this, and then there's all these expectations and all that.
Yeah. And well, my dad would just buy my mom a box of See's candy every year, and she was happy.
But
that was it.
This is part of it. That actually is part of why Red and I don't bother with Valentine's Day. We think it's kind of a pox on both our houses kind of thing.
He buys me random candy and flowers randomly throughout the years.
Yeah, and that way it means something as opposed to I'm doing this because I have to.
When it's not overpriced.
Oh, there's this gal I was involved with once, around about V-Day, that I sat there and I got her 3 gifts. There was a chain and a pendant and a ring. And I got, I think it was somewhere in the vicinity of 300 balloons. And I put these presents inside of 3 of the balloons, blew up all the balloons. And after blowing up all the balloons, I just filled the room with them, and she had to go in there and figure out which balloons had the presents in them and this kind of stuff. And it was a great thing. And then the next day, she's sitting there saying that I didn't do that for my benefit. I did that to amuse some of my friends that helped me blow up the balloons. And I'm like, what? What? Last time I ever bothered with Valentine's, I'll tell you that much. I like Christmas so much better because, yeah, there's, in some cases there still is that pressure to give something and this and that. But you're not going to have somebody feeling scorned the next frickin' day, usually, in the same kind of regard.
How many of these should I put in here? They're sweet.
3. Try 3. Sorry. So, Nodvik.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
All right.
You have a topic tonight, or shall we still keep? Do you have a topic tonight, or shall we still keep going on about the fucking holidays until we get to shuffle time?
I can complain and tell you a very stupid story about what Cox is doing.
About what? Who's doing?
Cox Communications.
Oh, what are they doing now?
So, basic cable analog services just connect to the wall, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't exist anymore. What they're doing is something called all digital, which is just fine. Making everything digital makes it better and easier to use. But the all digital mini box they came out with for it has to be paired specifically to a single remote that is paired to it through a little programming thing that the box has to be turned on for. If the remote's batteries die, you have approximately 8 hours to put new ones in there, or it forgets its pairing, which you then have to repair it to the box, but it has to already be turned on for that. The box doesn't have a power button. It can only be turned on by a remote that's paired to it.
Or in other words, they're doing more stupid shit. Every time you come to here to talk about Cox, they're screwing something else up because apparently they're a bunch of cocks.
Yep. Well, Cox is the last company to go all digital, apparently. Every other cable company's already done it. That means it's a common idea, still stupid and bad idea.
Now, hey. And Prudence strangely silent.
Well, yeah, we're not talking about religion.
Oh, stop that. It's not quite that bad.
Stop it.
I would like to ask Prudent, how did his finals go? Did you have finals yet?
Oh, yeah, I had them last week. Didn't do as good as I thought I would. My grades were still pretty good beforehand. I I was lucky. I got an A minus in calculus for life sciences, which calculus is like one of my weakest subjects. Now, granted, I got it because I originally had like a really high B plus, and we got a curve at the end. I don't care. I'm still gonna brag about the A minus.
Yeah, I would too. I think that's fantastic. How did your other finals go? I mean, you don't have to tell us your grades or anything. I'm more interested in how you felt about them.
Yeah, I feel like I did okay. I was doing really good like in school like around fall of 2013. And then after that semester, I got off to a good start in the spring of 2014 semester. And then I sort of faded away a little bit. I struggled a little bit with some classes. Then I improved again. It's like in the last month. I mean, I really picked it up. This time, as I was starting to kind of get a little stressed out, I feel like by changing my major, I'm at least doing a major that I feel more happy with. So, you know, I'm just gonna kind of move. I'm just gonna kind of go a little slowly. I still have 3 semesters left of undergrad studies. I definitely have to get some research experience in the next 3 semesters if I want to get into grad school. Which, next semester I'm going to be a research assistant at one of the labs, which is going to be fun. I'll probably have to do a couple of independent study courses, which also can help me get research experience. And if I don't get into grad school right away, I'm fine with that. I can probably get some kind of research job as an undergrad and work from there. Again, I mean, I already have like a plan, and if the plan doesn't work out, then you go to the backup plan. And the backup plan, it's not as palatable, but it works. You end up as a social worker, which doesn't sound like much fun, but it's a job I think I can at least handle. The problem is this: social workers only make $40 grand a year. That fucking sucks.
Yeah. More than I make.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hello, Jackie. We can hear you.
Yay, I'm on my computer.
Yeah.
What area of psychology are you interested in going into as a profession?
Social psychology. Right now, I'm actually going to be working for a psychology of religion lab next semester, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they actually
do you get to take any drugs so you can see Mescalito?
Nah, I would.
I'm just kidding. I didn't think you would, but yeah.
But the professor that I'm going to be working for is actually a pretty big name, like in the psychology of religion. You know, my university is actually they've really expanded their psychology program like in the last decade. They've gotten a couple of pretty big names to join. Oh crap! What was I gonna? Oh, they actually for their projects they just got a. It's probably not an organization many people in this hangout might like, but they did get. It's still their money and we'll use it anyway. They got a grant from the Templeton Foundation just recently, so, you know, even if I get it, people have some issues with them, but, you know what, screw it. They're offering us their money, so I don't really give a damn.
Well, I'm going to throw in a brief moment because there's some commentary going on here. On the rare occasions that my kid does show up, she is referred to as Elder Spawn.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Elder
Spawn. Like I said there, I just saw a young brunette chick in bad lighting, so I assumed it was your kid.
No.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind perpetuating that rumor.
No. Yeah, but that's much more evil.
That's cool.
She spent years refining that, actually.
So
I wonder if
what's your winter like?
If your daughter is practicing coming off as evil, I wonder if my buddy Christine would be willing to separate with a specific teddy bear that is cursed. This teddy bear was given to her by a local band in Florida that claimed to be satanic, which is just funny. But you know the evil eyes where it like goes diagonal and all that? You could brush this teddy bear's fur back and even like tape it down. You come back an hour later, the tape is gone and it looks evil again. It's great.
I don't know. When it comes to stuffed animals along those lines, I think Rose's wins because you can sit there and have it look all nice and happy, then you just flip the lip out and it has big nasty teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the pipe. I think I'm going to grab out my good tobacco.
I need to find my corncob pipe. I've got it somewhere.
Now mine's
so Muskie, you there? Or did you wander off? I guess he wandered off.
No, he's here.
Because I wanted to know what your winter's like so far.
You're breaking up on me, Jade. Sorry, what's that?
How's your winter, man?
Winter is kind of came and went.
Really?
Yeah, it's like +8 and rainy here right now. I've only plowed once in December. It started in like early November, well, mid-November, which is actually early, and then it just kind of, as soon as December got here, it kind of left.
Wow.
One little
Yeah,
bird.
they gave us their winter.
Wait. +8. Is this degree Fahrenheit or Celsius?
That's Celsius, so Fahrenheit, you're looking at 40.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Oh wow! Not too much.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
that shouldn't be doing that.
No,
Surprisingly-
well, before I've seen Christmas I can recall before the 1980s ever. Never ever. I live in an area that's called the snow belt for a good reason, because we get all of the precipitation flows off of all the major Great Lakes that's funneled right into my area. So 16, 18 feet is not uncommon to get for a winter.
Wow.
But yeah,
How's your forecast looking?
right now, nothing until the new year.
Oh, good grief.
So someone could watch some water.
Yeah, all the weather patterns this year are just fucked.
Oh,
Yeah, no kidding.
Guess.
And global, by the way, global warming doesn't exist, right?
Oh, of course not. Yeah, there's
No,
no
it
such thing as
doesn't.
climate change. That's why the climates are the way they've always been for. Oh, wait, no, they're not.
Oh
Yeah.
God. It's the one topic I hate talking to people about is climate change. Like, okay, I understand maybe evolution doesn't fit your religious narrative, but climate change, really, you're gonna deny climate change?
Jackie,
I don't know.
I could direct you to a Christian that I worked with in the Air Force that believes wholeheartedly that God is refilling our oil reserves.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
that.
Wow.
There's a it's a member of Congress.
Hang on,
who
that's
actually
the
wrote-
Pat Robertson thing. He was one that I think was first on board with that.
Yeah, but
that's right.
there's
My team is the only team at Cox right now that has not put up Christmas decorations because we are kind of busy. Our team has been haphazard and gone through 3 or 4 supervisors in 2 months because of fuck-ups higher up. And so I told the current supervisor, hey, if you need an excuse not to put up Christmas decorations, if you want, I can claim to be offended on it based on the fact that the Bible says that anyone who celebrates Christmas doesn't have it in them to do good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you say it's around. Muskie says about 40 degrees Fahrenheit where he's at. That's almost. I'm only a little bit warmer. I mean, we were pretty cold back in like late November, but really since really like throughout the entire month of December, it's been 50, 60 degrees the whole way out. No rain.
At night? I assume you mean at night.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's about 60. I mean, the highs are like in the the low 60s throughout the day. But I mean, right now, if I take a look, it's 54 degrees right now.
Incidentally, just a quick footnote for those few viewers that we have watching at this hour. Courtesy of YouTube, they're going to be doing maintenance apparently from 9 to 11. So if I was going to do a shuffle at all, I was going to have to start it early. So the shuffle hasn't actually started yet. It'll start later. But I just wanted to make note of that. And for those of you watching, yes, we are talking about the weather.
Yep. Hey,
Because the weather is not a topic.
If you have a problem with it, you can go to Xbox Fiend's channel. They're talking about religion.
Oh, tired of it.
And
if you have a problem with the weather, you can call up Snow Miser and Heat Miser and complain to them.
right.
Mr. Heat Miser, I'm Mr.
Okay.
Given how fucked up the weather has been, it is a subject. If anybody here wants to read something absolutely batshit crazy, and I have it on my Kindle, it's a book called The Great Oil Conspiracy.
Oh, so close.
The Great Oil Conspiracy, How the U.S. Government Hid the Nazi Discovery of Abiotic Oil from the American People by Jerome Corsi. And this is the...
Corsi? Oh my god.
Yeah. And This is where a lot of conservatives get their idea that the oil just is replenishing itself.
As
Did
Lenny
you
would.
just, did you just say abiotic oil?
Yeah.
Yes, I said abiotic oil. I also said Nazi and conspiracy.
Yeah, but abiotic oil was the craziest thing I heard.
Yeah, but
not
hang on, though, I have to quote Lenny. The guy's a bag of cats.
No, I just want to remind people who've heard the name Jerome Corsi, and you can find him if you look him up. This guy has a fucking PhD in political science from Harvard, and he makes a living making up conspiracy theories out of his ass.
Further fucking proof that a degree in poli-sci gets you nowhere.
But he has it's a doctorate from fucking Harvard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But it's poli-sci.
Crazy.
Two at a time.
Yeah.
The degree in poli-sci, like, obviously he's putting it to good use. You can't say the man's uneducated. The man's clearly intelligent. He's conning people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars in book sales.
Yeah, but, intelligent does not mean not insane.
Right, but the fun thing about it is if you read this book, you just have to think of it as some sort of what's the guy who wrote the Dan? You just have to look at it as some sort of crazy conspiracy novel, because Chapter 1, the Nazi secret science of synthetic oil, as the Allied armies raced to Berlin.
Yeah.
Well, see, there is a such thing as synthetic oil, but it's still not abiotic.
Investigators, including industrials, engineers, scientists, and technicians, visiting thousands of enemy factories.
If you're trying to read the content of that book, I'm gonna have to go get the tinfoil out and make myself another hat. But I think
I wasn't gonna go much further than that. I was just gonna, but yeah, like oh God, I can't think of the guy's name. Who wrote those crazy novels, Vatican Conspiracy.
The hangout I was in yesterday.
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, thank you.
The hangout I was in yesterday, this guy came in. It was Don something or other. I don't remember what his name was. I only remember the first name. But the guy came in there, and he was a conspiracy theorist, and he was using the they and the them and all this. And somebody's to him. And here's where it gets great. Somebody's like, what is this, some Bilderberg thing? Who's that? Is this some Illuminati thing? Who's that? We're like, dude, really? Are you new to conspiracy theories?
Oh, my goodness, really?
You haven't even got... Okay, so you're saying all this weird-ass crap and you haven't bothered with the regular conspiracy theory sites.
Wait, just...
Ask him to turn in his tinfoil hat. Yeah, we need it anymore.
I am of the opinion that conspiracy theorists are really just all clever pose working with one another. Every single one of them is a huge conspiracy.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Epi.
It's true, damn it. Humans cannot be this retardulous.
Oh crap! I was just gonna say.
Yes.
Going back to another topic I wanted to bring up, and it's the thing that sort of pisses me off. Why are there so many stupid, smart people in the world? Like people who are stupid, but they have like legitimate high education degrees.
Experiencing cognitive dissonance. Anyone want to take this one?
Okay, like I'm guessing, for example, you mean someone like Hugh Ross, who has a background in astrophysics, but is at the same time a creationist.
Well, he's an old creationist, and to be fair, I mean, at least he rationalizes the old universe because he actually understands the data in astronomy. But I'm talking more people like Ben Carson. I mean, who is a brilliant neurosurgeon who is well known for separating conjoined twins successfully, and yet he's a full-on Seventh-day Adventist.
He's young Earth creation. Yeah, he's young Earth creationist. I'd like to. I'll address this one first. Two reasons. First, people, however, even people with PhDs, people who are really intelligent and well-read, they may have agendas. In the case of Jerome Corsi, for instance, or my dad, I mean 13. Or, like Ben Carson, they have deeply held religious beliefs that they just can't get rid of. There's a lot of cases where people who are surgeons, medical doctors, psychiatrists, what have you, are in positions like that, are able to compartmentalize their religious beliefs from the line of work. And you'll get you'll get the anti-theist coming along saying that, you know, people with deeply held like religious beliefs or who hold offices in the church should be banned from participating in publishing science or holding political office, and I just think that's stupid. But I mean, it happens. It doesn't make it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You'd think that having an education like that would help, but there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of stupid, ignorant people with PhDs.
They don't want to. They can be very good in their field of study, and they can question and explore and research. But when it comes to certain core beliefs, that
Sorry. Not a gavel, sorry.
beliefs aren't healthy if you don't examine them.
Well, since we're talking about conspiracy theories and this and that, I've decided to have some fun, and let's talk about hoaxes through history. I'm on the Museum of Hoaxes site, one of my favorite little locations on the web, and my wife just happens to know the quote-unquote curator. Incidentally, it does actually have it set up as if it is an actual location, which it's not. That's also a hoax. But let's go through some of the historical hoaxes for the hell of it. And I figure since we're getting close enough to shuffle time, I'm going to start with this now. Let's see now. Hoax number 1. This would be 756 A.D. The donation of Constantine was documented supposedly written by Emperor Constantine, 285-337 A.D., granting the Catholic Church ownership of vast territories within the Western Roman Empire. The document stated that he had made this generous gift out of gratitude to Pope Sylvester I, who had converted him to Christianity and had cured him of leprosy. For centuries, the donation legitimized the Church's possession of the papal lands in Italy. Unfortunately, the donation was entirely fake, and even the Church eventually acknowledged this, but that was until about the year 1440.
Hilarious.
In all fairness, God would have wanted us to have that land anyway. So.
Well, actually, the truth of the matter is that the Church only officially acquired the land in 1756, when King Pepin of the Frankish Empire gave the land as a gift, and the letter was put in there to legitimize the claim, so people wouldn't get all upset about it. Apparently.
Silly Catholic.
It's our land.
Goddamn French again.
They ruin everything.
Yeah.
Of course, one of my favorite historic hoaxes is the Holy Foreskin.
Oh, yeah, that.
Have you heard of this one yet, Epi?
Yes, I've heard of that one.
I have, but yes, I have, and I assumed it would have been resurrected along with the Lord's body.
Yeah, there was a bit of a debate about that. Of all the holy relics that circulated through medieval Europe, relics associated with Jesus Christ, anything he supposedly touched or used during his life, were the most prized. By this measure, no relic was more valuable than the holy foreskin, since it was an ancient body part of Christ. In fact, this foreskin is the only body part of the Bible specifically mentions being removed from Christ during his life, 8 days after his birth, for that matter, which presumably stayed behind on earth after he ascended to heaven. The circumcision of Christ was a popular subject in religious art during the late medieval and early modern periods, and they have a couple examples on their page of some of the art depicting this, because apparently people back then were freaks and liked doing art of people being circumcised. But the holy foreskin didn't only appear in art. The physical artifact, or what people claimed was a real thing, was popular object of veneration. The holy foreskin first made its experience in medieval Europe around 800 when King Charlemagne presented it as a gift to Pope Leo III. The article goes on, and there's a lot of fun stuff, but apparently a new policy was adopted around 1900 that made it a crime punishable by excommunication to write or speak of the holy foreskin. There was one point that I think, I'm not seeing it in the article, that there was like 22 of them at different churches, 22 different churches, all claiming to possess the holy foreskin.
This actually reminds me of a funny quote by Martin Luther. In France, there were 14 graves for all 12 of the apostles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Considering how many foreskins were turned over to God, he was in possession of many of them. Maybe all this church did have one that belonged to God.
Hey, odds and stats.
Yeah, the whole thing with the relics, there were so many false, relics that were
Wasn't
floating around. Like,
wasn't there a wooden
the,
barrel that was claimed to have once held the brain of one of the apostles or something like that? And people go year to year to pay money to drink water from that barrel.
Oh,
I have no idea. It could
Wow,
be.
that's lovely.
capitalism.
There were all sorts of, yeah, because relics, holy relics were, they were a big business, but they were also very important. People seemed to want to have some physical,
Well, at church that held a relic, like especially anything associated with Jesus, like one of the holy nails or a thorn
Yeah.
from the crown of thorns, gave them a lot of power.
yeah, and of course then the next church, the next town over wanted one too.
So they made one.
Or they bought one from someone who was cleverly going around selling relics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you know, all you had to do to sell a relic is to prove a miracle.
Well, I
And
mean,
you can-
we live in a day and age, though, where people sit there and say, if somebody's selling out of the back of a van, don't buy it. Well, this is usually for, like, stereo equipment and this kind of stuff. But if somebody was trying to sell me a foreskin out of the back of the van, I think my answer would probably be, ew, what? No.
Well, no, but the holy relics were proved to be holy relics because they perform miracles.
Right.
Right, and you get just like today, you see these people who are curing people of all sorts of things, and all these different religious leaders, and they have these meetings and they cure people, and you know darn well some of them are fake. The person who staggers up to the front with their crutches and then leaves dancing has been paid to do that.
Oh, let's see now.
And they did that back then too. That's how you knew it was a relic. And if you prayed to the relic and you weren't cured there, well, either God didn't favor you or you'd secretly done something really bad.
Okay.
Or shenanigans.
Hey, here's a good one. The Toledo letter. Letter supposedly written by the astrologer of Toledo and addressed to Pope Clement III began circulating through Europe in 1184. It predicted the end of the world would occur September 1184. It said there would be wind and storms, drought and famine and pestilence and death, and apparently created quite the panic throughout Europe. So apparently this whole end of world is happening and people predicting it's been going on for a while.
Oh, it's been going on for a long time. I tracked it down once to look at all the different end of the world. There are websites that show end of the world prophecies, but you kind of have to
Lost you there.
throw up everything.
Yep.
But they're the first end of the first millennium, people were totally freaking out. And then there was some controversy over does the millennium end 1,000 years after Jesus' birth or his death, or does it date to the end of the last of the apostles? And if it dates to the death of the last apostle, does that include Paul?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was. Well, that was going around before even Christianity was founded. There were tons of end of the world prophecies.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, there's a lot of scholars now. This is one of the hoax things. It's talking about Marco Polo. Apparently, he never really went to China, just as far as his parents' trading post.
Just remember that the most recent end of the world rapture on May 22nd last year actually did happen, but it was only Randy Savage that was taken from us.
Yes. Actually, what happened was Macho Man Randy Savage stopped the apocalypse in his death.
He sacrificed himself to prevent the rapture.
Exactly. Essentially, what happened was Satan's army was prepared outside of the gates of hell, and then he just dropped an elbow bomb to hit the Lord of Darkness. Come on, we all know that makes for a pretty badass story.
It's okay. I'm looking at some other fun stuff here. They have the Shroud of Turin in here, of course. 13 from 1355. It's actually decent article.
Your mom's a Shroud of Turin. Sorry.
I had 30.
The Shroud of Turin. Idiot.
I can feel the blood running through my veins. Ah.
What?
I can feel the earth spinning, man.
Jackie, are you okay?
The colors, the colors.
The colors.
Whoa, dude, everything's all like one and ready.
Jackie, did you take acid? Or just are you on Vicodin again?
I'm on Vicodin.
I knew it.
Don't worry, I'll come to you before I do anything.
Jackie, I bet you your teeth are numb.
What? You cut out.
I bet you that your teeth are numb.
Not really. Oh, okay, I'm an idiot. I can't feel my teeth.
It's one of the best stoner things ever. I can't feel my teeth.
I can't.
I actually can't feel my lower left eyelid.
That is irritating.
Yeah.
Let's see now. The legendary island of Hy-Brasil off the coast of Ireland.
There's
a
a
land where the saints lived and fairies and all this other fun stuff. Granted, it's not there, but apparently people spent all kinds of time trying to find it. Apparently, it was in a very elusive, hidden island.
Well, in their defense, it sank, and that island became known as Atlantis.
The wrong part of the world.
Yeah.
Wrong time period.
I'm sorry, I should clarify. It became Atlantis 2. It followed Atlantis 1.
Did
Speaking of Ireland, where's Lenny?
Not here.
Probably at work still, I guess.
Might be.
Lenny's been having a tough time, I see.
Did any of you guys see the quote-unquote documentary on real fairies about 2 years ago?
Yes.
Is that on the Discovery Channel?
Well, wait, was that like a documentary on the gay community, or what was it like?
No, it was filmed in Ireland. It was a bunch of Irish people, and it was actually pretty good.
You sure it was Irish folks? I'm just saying because I know there's a very strong fairy belief in Iceland, isn't it?
It was definitely Irish. I don't know if there were Icelanders on there.
Greenland and Iceland are both big on fairy lore too.
But there are a lot of mysterious islands that are supposed to have existed and lost lands, and it's fun to read about them.
Oh yeah, man, there was this.
There you go. I found it.
There was this incredible utopian novel I read quite a while ago. It was about an explorer who founded an ancient who was a castaway on Lost Island that was super advanced. It was really peaceful, and everyone was a Christian because apparently one of the 12 apostles got lost and introduced Christianity to the natives.
Yeah, that'd make it peaceful.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, the most peaceful tribe we've ever run across was one of those random lost tribes in South America that had no creation belief whatsoever.
Which tribe was this?
I do not remember the name of it, but I can look it up for you if you want.
No worries. Okay, cool. Is it also the one? But is that the tribe? Are you referencing the tribe that missionary tried to convert to Christianity, and he basically became an atheist? Is that the one?
Yes, that is exactly right.
Pirahas.
Yep.
Pirahas. I read that story, but I didn't read anything about the tribe having a super long history of being super pacifistic.
Well, they weren't pacifistic, but they had no wars with neighboring tribes, if I remember right.
They were fairly isolated, though.
Yeah.
And how many counts are we talking about here? Is it just one? And how much do we know about their history?
The only thing I know is from the article that guy wrote after losing his faith.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem with trusting one account.
Yeah, true, but still.
I mean, my Bible at least has 4. Sorry.
Ba-dum-bum. Each one is a derivative of the others, yada, yada, yada. We know how that goes.
They're all derivative of Matthew. Sorry.
The Hadith has more than 4.
The Markian was the first, wasn't it?
No, well, I'm a Mathian prioritist. I think Matthew was the first one written.
But I'm saying in terms of what we've found.
Most scholars, yes, today said Markian priority.
Yeah, Mark based it on the Odyssey, and then everyone else based it on Mark.
Markian based it on the Odyssey.
No.
So,
I don't buy that either.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You just the parallels don't work. You can't draw lines from one to the other.
I've got a great one for you here. In 1496, when he was a young man, Michelangelo sculpted a sleeping Cupid. He, or an accomplice, then buried it in acidic earth to give it an appearance of great age. The plan was to pass it off as an antiquity, which would allow it to fetch a higher price. Ironically, had it not been destroyed in a fire, it would be worth more than a legitimate ancient piece today.
That's irony.
Yeah.
Wait, is that irony?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I was afraid I was using it in the Alicia. I was afraid I was using it in the Alicia Keys sense, where it didn't mean what it meant. Wait, what's that?
Alicia Keys sense me. Ironic just means unfortunate.
Yeah.
In a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
Santa dying on Christmas is ironic and sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Santa got a DWI.
I'm just skimming through some of the other time periods, and I just came up with one that's fun. This should sound familiar to most people. The Protocols of the Elders of Zion.
Oh, God. I have that book.
The Protocols of the Elders of Zion was first published in Russia in 1903. It was said to be the text of a speech given by a Zionist leader outlining a secret Jewish plan to achieve world power by controlling international finances and subverting the power of the Christian Church. And sadly, people still believe this shit. The manuscript was used to justify...
I have a Jewish friend who loves that book, mostly because it actually is it's a kind of a joke.
It's a article, man!
It's a joke context. He basically likes it because anytime he reads a book about the Jews, it talks about how they're victims all the time and how they're always hurt. But this one actually says they rule the world, so he feels much better about it.
The manuscript was used to justify hate campaigns against Jewish people throughout the 20th century, including the Russian, I have no idea what that word is, pogroms of the earliest 20th century and the Nazi persecution of the 1930s and 40s. Many copies of the protocols are still in circulation today throughout the world. However, they're a hoax. Journalists discovered in 1921 that the text had been plagiarized from an 1864 work, A Dialogue in Hell Between Machiavelli and Montesquieu, by Maurice Joly. Joly's book was an attack upon Emperor Napoleon that didn't mention the Jewish people at all. But when the work resurfaced in Russia at the turn of the century, it was transformed into pseudo-evidence of vast Jewish conspiracies.
Whoa.
And Henry Ford, amongst others, paid to have copies of it printed and passed there up to people.
Henry Ford was fucking racist.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so the next time you come across some idiot claiming that the Jews control everything and secret conspiracies of Jews, remind them that this was, of course, discovered to be a fraud back in the 1920s after it was only started in 1903. It was less than 20 years before being completely debunked.
Right. And by the way, everyone knows it's the Jesuits who rule the world. I mean, come on.
A Jesuit priest did start the Illuminati, which ran for a total of 10 years, and we still have people believing in that shit, too.
And also... oh man, I'm not sure if you guys know Fritz, but he tried to pull off the. It says over here in the Book of Revelations that the Whore of Babylon is the Catholic Church, and he phrased it to me like a question. Epi, do you know who the Whore of Babylon is? My response was to say, "Is it your mom, Fritz?" I do not respond well to anti-Catholicism.
Yeah.
At least that kind of anti-Catholicism. Not the one that actually makes a good point about...
what's your opinion on, God, what's that old lady's name that's considered a saint but wasn't?
Old Mother Teresa?
That's it. What's your opinion on Mother Teresa?
Yeah, I felt that... Yeah, what happened with Mother Teresa was this. people were saying she was awesome for reason X when it was really reason Y. And
Yeah.
and because when they found out she was doing things because of reason Y and not X, they were like, we were lied to about Mother Teresa. So it's really kind of a mythologizing of her work, and then just hitting yourself over the head of realizing, yeah, this isn't what she was doing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, it was a hospice for the dead, for people who were dying and suffering. It was not even intended in the beginning to be a place where people would get healthy and better.
No, yeah, exactly. She opened it so that people who were dying would have some comfort in their last days, and that's all it was for. And yet you see, I still see people attacking her because nobody ever got well. Well, yeah.
Very few people ever get well in hospice.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like going to Dr. Kevorkian and thinking, hey, wasn't he supposed to make you better?
Yeah, I know.
Where is that? There's the Guinness.
Yeah.
There's the beer bottle. Oh,
yeah, buddy.
The one I love is how they try to talk about how the Jesuits and the Freemasons are part of the same thing.
Yeah, even though from Vatican, I think it was Vatican I was instituted, a Jesuit can't even be a Freemason. No Catholic can.
Well, yeah, well, and the Freemasons don't like Catholics either, and it has a lot to do with the fact that Catholics can't belong to secret societies.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually goes back to the genesis of the mafia and how people were creating secret societies and trying to rule from behind the scenes and things like that. But yes, it's hysterical. Yes, of course, the Jesuits and the Freemasons are the same thing. Yeah, got that one. Good one. Oh, and the Knights Templar still exist.
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere, man.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Okay, I've got another one for you. Frederick Rodman Law, 1885 to 1919, was a well-known daredevil, active in the early 20th century. His sons included parachuting from the top of the Statue of Liberty and jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge. In April of 1912, he requested permission to parachute off the top of the Washington Monument, but he was turned down. However, on May 7th, 1912, a pedestrian standing on the corner of 14th and F Street exclaimed that Law appeared to be scaling the monument without permission and was already a third of the way up. Well, police and all the authorities ended up drawing up by the base of the monument, waiting to arrest him when he came down, and given enough time, they realized that what they were seeing on the side of it that they thought might have been the man trying to climb the monument was a wet spot left from the rain the night before.
Wow. Fail.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Wow.
Did they have Wrong Way Corrigan on that anymore?
I didn't actually look for it. I'm actually at 1910s right now.
Oh, okay. Because that was always a fun story when I was a kid. Oh, sorry, my compass got screwed up, and I flew the wrong way, all across the Atlantic.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
Okay, in 1816, a slender volume of poetry called Spectra, a book of poetic experiments, introduced the Spectric school of poetry to the world. It joined many other experimental schools of poetry which were currently in vogue, such as the Imaginist, Futurist, and Idealist. The Spectric poems were rather bizarre and nonsensical, but were also fun, full of life, and decked out with colorful, albeit illogical, imagery. Lines such as these were typical. I've seen the gray stars marching, and the green bubbles in wine, and there are gothic vaults of sleep. The Spectric philosophy, explained by its founders, was to embrace the immediacy of experience, even if that experience could not be expressed rationally. Soon it became a big deal, attracting growing bands of followers. Despite repeated requests for meetings and interviews, the two founders never appeared in public. This led to rumors of hoax rumors that were confirmed in 1918 when the poet, writer Byron, admitted that he and his friend, author Davison Fick, were the true creators behind the poetry. They explained that their goal had been to parody the overly pompous experimentation that was the fad of the day. kind of like Edward Current and him making that 9/11 video that people are going, oh, look, more proof that didn't notice the fucking UFO in the corner of the picture.
Yeah, or also if you turn it sideways, doesn't it say this is a joke or a hoax or something?
All of his movies have that,
Yeah.
My favorite 9/11 thing wasn't a 9/11 video. It was just sort of an aside in a different video by some great bloke. He's like, well, but it turned out that 9/11 was an inside job. It was done by a 40-story tall, invisible Dick Cheney with a golf club. And he shows the picture where you can barely see the outline of Dick Cheney with a golf club. I take it none of you seen some great blokes videos?
Yeah. So in other words, a dick did it.
Yes, a dick did it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Blame the penis.
Oh, there's one here from this time period that I don't even want to bother with.
Oh.
But I feel, well, it's 1912 Piltdown.
Oh, God.
Oh, that. Yes.
Yeah, but you know, there are still people trying to talk about Piltdown Man too. The only people that, of course, still promote the notion of Piltdown Man are Scientologists.
The only
We all know how credible they are.
Yeah. The only thing I'd like to say about that, because I have several books on Piltdown Man, including one written by a guy who was there. At the time it happened, a lot of scientists not only called it as a fake, but they correctly identified the parts.
Mm-hmm. It didn't really fool the scientific community.
No, it didn't. The thing is that it was sort of a bit of British imperialism going on at the time. There were certain people who wanted it to be real, and it was actually kept away. After its initial showing, it was actually kept away from scientific examination.
Yeah, the guy that claimed to have found it spent a lot of time and effort trying to keep anyone from examining it. When it finally was examined, people were like, yep, we were right, it's bullshit.
Yeah, and it's a very, very clever fake, because if you read about, whoever did it knew what they were doing, not only in managing to fake it, managing to make the parts look like they matched in terms of age, but they picked the correct bones that would make it difficult to show that it was a fake. For instance, if you had like the up front jaw, you would be able to know it wasn't a human. So it's very, very clever, very well done. Whoever did it
still don't know. We
just
still
did
don't
a
know who
freaking
did
brilliant
it, right?
job.
It's still unknown who actually.
That tooth is like, whoa, this is a molar, but there is no job.
Jade, hang on. Kevin was trying to ask you a question.
It's still unknown who did it, right?
Yes, it's still unknown. There's a lot of suspects, including Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Actually, it's interesting that you say that. There's actually a haiku that one of the Coco visitors to the Hoax Museum submitted, which goes as follows. There it is, Piltdown Man, playing a game of cricket with the Cardiff Giant.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I skipped over the Cardiff Giant this time.
I think the odds are on the discoverer of it.
We have the Cutting Leaf Fairies. Let's leave those out of it. We all know that one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The girls that took the little paper cutouts, took pictures of themselves, and claimed that they'd found fairies that people were.
Oh, that was that was fantastic.
And of course, this was probably used as proof of fairies in that stupid special about fairies.
I don't think so, no.
There's actually a good movie about that, about finding the fairies. But it's a movie. It's a it's a dramatization. It's not not real fairies. Yeah.
King Tut's Curse, 1923.
Ooh, love that one.
Claimed to have died mysteriously because of it. Of course, a study showed that, yeah, fuck you, bullshit.
But you know what's important about King Tut's Curse? It inspired a whole bunch of mummy movies.
Well, actually, the most interesting thing about the King Tut dig is that it was a clusterfuck. And there was one certain artifact that was stolen from the dig site that I think is the strangest theft I've ever heard of. Somebody stole King Tut's penis.
Yes.
I am not surprised in the least.
And it was going around and being sold at little booths around Egypt for quite some time.
It was obviously stolen by the one Chinese scientist. He was an ancient medicine practitioner and turned it into an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, does anyone know if they ever found Einstein's brain?
I've not heard.
Isn't pieces of Einstein's brain are supposedly held by a bunch of labs all over the world? At least
It went
that's the way I
missing.
understand it.
There's actually a movie about it that ended up in the trunk of some guy's car being driven across the country or something, but it was stolen, yeah, or it went missing, yeah. So I don't even know what the truth is behind Einstein's brain, but that's another one of those.
It got misplaced.
After a heavy snowfall, the footprints of a large animal were found on the campus.
Lost his mind.
Yeah.
After heavy snowfall, the footprints of a large animal were found on the campus of Cornell University, leading up to the shore of the frozen Bebe Lake, or Beebe Lake, I don't know. A hole in the ice indicated that the animal must have fallen and drowned. As well as examined the tracks and identified them as those of rhinoceros. Okay, this is Cornell University. Does anyone want to guess how this one ends?
Yeah, students did it.
Yeah, fucking prank.
Because I'm from Southern California, and the students at Caltech have done some really impressive stunts over the years, including creating a UFO with glowing lights and that people actually thought was real. Caused panic.
There was someone that put a bunch of flashing LEDs on a large frisbee and threw it from like the Golden Gate Bridge. Threw it from the Golden Gate Bridge, and a bunch of people reported a UFO from the fucking city, and it was reported on the news. It was great.
I had a frisbee that actually had lights on it. You could buy them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a problem with them, though, because this was back in the 1970s. The problem with them is they were so heavy, you practically broke your hand when you tried to catch it. You had to be very careful. You had to have a sort of a special, slow it down and then catch it technique, because if you just reached up to try to catch it like a normal frisbee, you'd be like, ow, fuck! God, I wonder if they still make them. You'd think somebody would update it. But if you played frisbee at night, it was really cool to watch.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I also had a glow-in-the-dark frisbee, and that one was fun to play with, too. We'd get stoned, and we'd play frisbee at night with my glow-in-the-dark frisbee.
Okay, this is long, but it might be worth the bother. Jade, I'm going to put a link on the right.
Okay.
And tell me if you'd be interested in doing some reading for me, because I'm going to get hoarse otherwise, and you seem to have plenty of talk to do.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, hang on. Okay, let me get my
and I'm going to get some coffee.
ready. Hugo N. Fry, 1930. In 1930, Republican leaders throughout the United States received letters inviting them to a May 26th party at Cornell University in honor of the sesquicentennial birthday anniversary of the esteemed Hugo Norris Fry, a.k.a. Hugo N. Fry. The letter, anticipating its recipients might not be fully aware of who Hugo N. Fry was, summarized his contributions to U.S. history. Quote, "This little-known patriot of central New York has been deprived of the fame that should have been his for his part in the organization of the Republican Party in New York State. Born on a little farm in the struggling hamlet of Elmira, near the scene of Sullivan's encounter with the Indians, Fry served his country in the War of 1812 and returned to take a humble but active part in the political life of his community. From his opposition to the Mexican War was born the idea of a political party that would incorporate the principles of protection for our industries and freedom for the Negro. His slogans, protection for our prosperity and freedom in the land of the free, became the rallying cry of those honest farmers who later became the nucleus of the Republican Party in the Empire State." The politicians respond. None of the politicians could make it to the event, but almost all of them replied, expressing their regret at being unable to attend, but also noting their sincere admiration for Fry. For instance, Secretary of Labor James Davis wrote, "It is a pleasure to testify to the career of that sturdy patriot who first planted the ideals of our party in this region of the country. If he were living today, he would be the first to rejoice in evidence everywhere present that our government is still safe in the hands of the people." Vice President Charles Curtis wrote, "I congratulate the Republicans on paying this respect to the memory of Hugo N. Fry and wish you a most successful occasion." Claudius Hurston, Republican National Chairman, praised Fry, saying, "Our country has been providentially favored in every crisis in not only having men who were willing to espouse the cause they were convinced was honorable and just, but who were willing to bear the brunt of being in the forefront of economic and political thought. Congresswoman Ruth Pratt, the first congressman to be elected from New York, replied, "Greetings and all good wishes to all of you who are gathered to pay tribute to the memory of Hugo N. Fry. I wish it were possible for me to be with you." Hugo and Fry. Unfortunately for the Republican leaders who responded, Hugo N. Fry didn't exist. He was a satirical creation of two student editors at the Cornell Sun, Lester Blumner and Edward Horn, authors of the Berry Patch humor column. Hugo N. Fry was shorthand for Hugo and Fry. When May 26th arrived, the Hugo N. Fry Sesquicentennial Committee hosted a celebration. The laudatory comments written about Fry by the Republican politicians were solemnly read out to the accompaniment of laughter and applause. And the next day, the Cornell Sun ran a gloating headline on its front page. Vice President Curtis, prominent Republicans acclaim fictitious party hero, Hugo N. Fry.
And strangely enough, the Republicans have not gotten any bit at fact-checking. Go for it.
Yeah, no kidding. Reaction. Within a few days, the prank had spread to the national press, and for the next week, Republican leaders were the brunt of jokes throughout the nation, and they still are. Excuse me. Senator Harrison, a Democrat, read a newspaper article about the hoax on the floor of the Senate in the presence of Vice President Curtis. The New York Times reported Mr. Curtis, rubbing his hand over a grinning face, finally joined in the outburst as he rapped for order. Harrison remarked, in offering the newspaper story, that Hugo and Fry, appropriate name for a Republican organization. For weeks afterwards, Democrats continued to remind their Republican colleagues of the great example set by that sturdy patriot, Hugo N. Fry. Congresswoman Pratt took the joke in good humor, saying, "I'll admit the joke was on me." However, Secretary Davis complained that his good nature had been imposed upon. Overall, the reaction of the media was very positive. The New York World noting that the sleazy kind of fawning generally practiced by politicians, expressing its pleasure at seeing the political establishment trip its toe and come sprawling on its face. Apology. For the prank, but soon Cornell's administration decided it should not appear tolerant of such activity and pressured the pair into sending a letter of apology to their victims. The letter read, "We regret that what was intended as a campus prank should have been given such wide publicity. We intended no disrespect to you, your officer, or the office, or the Republican Party, and sincerely apologize for any annoyance we may have caused. We appreciate your good sportsmanship." Reportedly, the Hearst newspapers offered Horn and Blumner $500 for the originals of the letters, but fearing Cornell's reaction should the prank continue on any further, the two turned down the money and ceremoniously burned the letters as the crowd looked on. Later, Blumner served later instances of Hugo N. Fry.
Oh, no, there is more?
Yeah. John Hugo N. Fry Patrick. The expression Hugo N. Fry received press coverage over 30 years later in a completely different context, when in 1962, author John Patrick was prosecuted for signing an initiative petition with other than his true name. The name he used was Hugo N. Fry. The petition in question was sponsored by the League of Women Voters in order to place the initiative measure number 211 on the November 6, 1962 Washington State election ballot. One petition form had been placed in the sheriff's office. According to the charges filed against him on May 1st, Patrick was in the sheriff's office in the presence of Officer Gwynn Symes. He signed the petition as Hugo N. Fry, 301D Free Press Park, Snohomish. Officer Symes, believing that a felony had been committed, subsequently gave the signed document to a prosecuting attorney. Patrick pleaded not guilty. He admitted he had signed the petition as Hugo N. Fry, but argued that this had long been his pen name. This was certainly true. Patrick published his own magazine, the Saturday Evening Free Press, in which he signed articles with his name. Patrick was known for his nonconformist views. He said of his writing, "I try to keep it slanderous. Failing that, I strive for blasphemy." Patrick also frequently ran for political offices such as governor and U.S. senator, and he always filed as John Hugo N. Fry Patrick. He never won, but he made himself familiar to the bureaucrats in the election office by insisting on paying his filing fee entirely with loose change. Catherine once
And
commented.
now loose change means something else.
Yes, I run for every office political. Wait, check that. I file for every office. I don't run. I don't even crawl.
She cut out.
Yeah.
When he says, I have the urge to burn a history book.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't actually been checking the Q&A. I should be doing that. Oh, well, nothing there. To those of you that are watching, you'll notice that it is technically almost 10:30, so it's almost time for the shuffle to technically start. I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. Granted, that's because YouTube forced the issue by saying that if you don't start a fucking hangout by 9, you're not going to get one till 11. So fuck it. And I see Lee's joined us. How's it going, Lee? I'm reading some weird stuff off of the history of hoaxes from the.
Oh, I know. I've been listening for the last hour and a half or so, whatever.
I hope you've been having some fun. That last one was long, but with all the weirdness with Republicans these days, I found it funny.
I think I'd vote for that guy.
Keep going.
I think next presidential election I'm gonna write in Hugo and Fry.
I think so.
I'm just going to go through the 30s right quick here with a couple of the entries
I
here.
think we should start a write-in campaign for Hugo and Fry.
Let's see. Now we have a alleged picture of baby Adolf Hitler from 1933.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Does it have the mustache on it?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
It's not real.
Your mom's not real.
Shut up, Reardon.
Burn!
What? That wasn't even funny.
Your
There
mom
was
goes to
a
another.
I'm fighting mom right now.
museum exhibit of Van Gogh's ear in 1935.
Oh, I remember that one.
Already.
Let's see now.
I mean, I wasn't there. That was completely all in history.
Somebody lobbied Congress to pay veterans their war bonuses 10 years early. Think about the logistics of that one.
We know you're gonna die.
But even more so, some of these people wouldn't have been listed yet.
Yeah. Seems legit.
I promise I'll enlist. Give me the money.
French farmer that claimed to have found a Venus with arms in their tulip patch in 1938.
That reminds me of there's like a whole series back in 03 or 04 was going around on VHS. No, sorry, it was 98. A whole series going around of people going in with hidden cameras or whatever, with people filming from outside the room, whatever, on interviews that people were just fucking up for the fun of it. What was that $38,000 a year? Can I get that up front?
What was that last one? 13? Something had arms?
Venus.
Venus de Milo with arms. A French farmer claimed to have found in his turnip field.
Oh.
Yeah,
Heard it
just
work.
French.
Baby Jean? The hell? Sorry, some group. Okay, this is bizarre. 1935. Secretive cult known as the Royal Fraternity of Master Metaphysicians made headlines when its leader announced their intention to conduct an unusual experiment. They were going to raise an immortal baby.
Ooh,
Oh.
special.
Did you stay a baby the whole time?
Apparently, there's all kinds of weird photos they put up here claiming to. Yeah, it's just fucking weird.
Is that like that Eddie Murphy movie, The Golden Child?
I don't know. I'm just glancing through it, but it's just weird shit. I'm trying to get to the point of it because it's a long article, and I'm willing to bet it's not worth the trouble.
You know, maybe some of these movie maker people should, instead of doing sequels and remakes constantly, and ruining our various childhoods, they should go and make some movies based on some of these hoaxes.
Yeah. But originality doesn't really sell, though, does it?
Oh, the people that
It's
started
not original. It's already been done.
the people that started the hoax were eventually found to be commit suicide along with a child inside of a car. Yeah, lovely. Okay, we'll leave that alone. That's fucked up. Yes, immortal child because they killed it. Go figure that fucking logic out.
Yeah.
Are you going to bed? Good night, Fred.
Good night, all.
Night.
Good night.
Let's see now. Hitler's Silly Dance, 1940. On June 21st, 1940, Hitler accepted the surrender of French government at a ceremony in Campagne, France. He melodramatically insisted on receiving France's surrender at this same railroad car in which Germany had signed in the 1918 armistice, which had ended World War I. After he accepted the surrender, he stepped backwards slightly as if in shock, but this isn't what audiences in the Allied countries saw who watched the movie reel of his ceremony. Instead, they saw Hitler dance a bizarre little jig after signing the document as if he were childishly celebrating his victory by jumping up and down. The scene was played over and over in movie theaters. Following the war, it was revealed that the director of the Canadian Information and Propaganda Department had manufactured the clip after noticing that Hitler raised his leg rather high up while stepping backwards. He realized that at this moment could be looped repeatedly to create the appearance that he was jumping with joy.
Oh, I thought that was the Great Dictator. I thought that's what that was.
Hang on. What do you want, puppy? Get in. You were just out. In. Sorry. In. Hi, what are you doing in there? You don't need to be in there. I'll be dog wrangling. Who else has a topic while I'm taking a break from this?
Do we have one? Yes, no, maybe. Anybody?
Nah.
What happens when there's no drama for me to try and yell at people for trying to bring into the hangout? There's nothing to talk about, apparently.
I can't stand all the drama. I've intentionally remained ignorant of the drama, and I'm glad to be that.
We'll keep it that way, but it's funny when there's silence. Wow. No Republicans.
I'm eating right now, so when I'm done eating, I'll do something crazy or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Jackie. Oh dear.
I think
we
Kevin
have
and
a
Jackie
homemade
have
UFO from 1947. Wow, FBI followed up on it and everything.
Oh.
Oh no. Army officers removed the saucer and took it to Salt Lake City for closer examination, with police working on a tip that identified the saucer as a creation of 4 teenage boys who had spent several days building it out of radio tubes, wires, and old phonographs. Discarded electrical pans, electric parts rather. The boys claimed it was all a joke because of their age. No charges were brought against them. But the FBI still apparently confiscated it. Oh, here's a fun one. On May 29th, 1947, an armed forces radio station in Tokyo, WVTR, interrupted its evening broadcast of dance music with a disturbing news bulletin. A 20-foot sea monster had emerged from the waters of Tokyo Bay and was making its way inland. The entire region was said to have been thrown into chaos. For the next hour, a series of bulletin updated listeners on the progress of the dragon as it proceeded downtown, derailing trains and smashing buildings. Troops were said to be battling it, although bullets were useless against it. So instead, soldiers were using flamethrowers, grenade, tear gas, and phosphorus bombs. Listeners were advised to barricade themselves indoors to keep phone lines clear for emergency calls. One listener later recalled that the reports continued at a frantic pace, including harrowing rescues and escapades, remote radio links, movement of heavy weaponry and tanks, and all that stuff of which the truly epic stories are made of, accompanied by the terrifying screams, roars, and shrieks from both the beast and the panic-stricken populace, as well as gunfire and bullhorns from the protectors. Finally, the monster reached downtown Tokyo. An announcer identified as Captain Jim something or other of Chicago, who was providing a play-by-play account of the battle, then told listeners he would draw near the beast. He did so, at which point the monster stopped, turned and addressed the listeners in a Sperano voice. It said it wished to congratulate the Armed Forces radio station on its 5th anniversary. 5th anniversary.
How nice of it.
This actually might have been what inspired the Godzilla movie in 1954.
Yeah, in some part at least, yeah.
As long as they don't put Tom Cruise in there to ruin it.
Let's see now. There's all kinds of weird stuff here. Ghost artists, Rudolph Fens, the Great Monkey Hoax. There's all kinds of stuff here. Let's see now. The Swiss Spaghetti Harvest of 1957?
Okay.
The British news show Panorama broadcasts a 3-minute segment about a bumper spaghetti harvest in southwest Switzerland. The success of the crop was attributed both to unusually mild winter and the virtual disappearance of the spaghetti weevil. Wow, people bought this. Wow. 1958, the birth of Bigfoot. Wow. Some of these I don't even want to read. I'm just looking at them going, oh, good grief.
Are they claiming someone gave birth to a Bigfoot, or?
Hang on. Carved wooden feet. Let's see now. Let's see now. August 27, 1958, while working on a construction site in Northwest California, tractor operator named Jerry Crew found a series of massive 16-inch footprints tracked through the mud. Due to the size of the prints, the media began referring to the creature that created them as Bigfoot. The name stuck, eventually replacing Sasquatch in the popular imagination as the name for North American legendary ape man. It was long suspected that the crew created the prints with carved wooden feet.
Ah.
Yeah. This is where the Sasquatch myth became Bigfoot, apparently.
Oh, cool.
1958 was somebody with wooden feet strapped to his feet. When Wallace died in 2002, his family came clean on the whole story. However, the Bigfoot believers continue to insist that the prints were legitimate, just like they still insist that Penn and Teller video in which they had one of them dress up as Bigfoot there are people still insisting that that was real, even though they came clean on their bullshit show, stating that it was just that.
Yeah, they're magicians. They're trying to give you like a double layer of deception there. There really was a Bigfoot, and the real trick is that they fooled you into thinking they faked it.
You know, I still haven't found the weird conspiracy theories that guy yesterday was talking about, claiming that the Vatican is using train crashes to communicate with people.
What?
No, this is what the weirdo that I was dealing with yesterday was claiming, that they were using train derailments to communicate with people somehow, whoever they is. And when I asked him who they was, he was like, oh, the Vatican. I'm like, dude, really? The Vatican can't even hide pedophile priests. What makes you think they can hide something like that?
Well, what's the message? Stay the fuck off the train? Or?
Fuck if I know. He didn't... They're secret messages. I don't know what they are. Duh.
Well, of course they are. Why else would a train crash?
Yeah, God wouldn't allow that.
Just like we know there's an afterlife, otherwise why would we die, right?
Exactly.
Oh, religious people.
Well, you know, it's like all those super important questions that we really have out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, real life, is this just fantasy? Are we caught in a landslide?
No escape from reality.
No, never mind.
Yep. That's all well and good. I'm just easy come, easy go.
Yeah, you know.
Figaro.
Easy go.
And my blood sugar is currently crashing, so I will be back. Try and say something.
Hello.
How are you feeling, Jackie?
I'm still a little swollen, but not as bad as a few days ago.
Excellent. Continue to deflate. I demand it. I think Jackie and Kevin are a conspiracy. It's all planned to get Prudent ritually murdered somewhere in Nebraska.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not getting murdered.
Oh, you say that now.
Should that be taken as a "you won't kick me" kind of comment?
You won't murder me. The way I'm supposed to die, man. Like, I'm either personally, how would I like to die? Probably in a Vegas hotel room with a lot of hookers.
Hookers and blow, liquor and whores, cigarettes and dope.
That doesn't seem like a very prudent way to die.
No, it's not.
I got drunk for the first time last February, but before that I used to say that my preferred way to die would be getting drunk for my very first time, absolutely wasted, crash, get in my car, drive 300 miles an hour down the road, and crash into a building hosting an AA meeting.
Oh, an AA meeting. That would just be awful.
Just jumping ahead to the 2010s on here. It actually has another hoax here about the History Channel actually having history on it.
Whoa!
Yeah, that is a hoax.
They had history once upon a time, didn't they?
They did.
MTV had music.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be the Hitler Channel, but now it's the Pawn Stars Channel and shit.
And the Illuminati channel and the Ancient Aliens channel,
Yeah.
and the Tinfoil Hat channel.
You know, there was no reference to the word stuffing until we came to America. It was obviously made by aliens.
Yeah.
That was South Park.
Yeah. But it was so dead on, though. Pretty much what their programming is.
I'm just burning the shit out of my finger.
History? That's fucking boring. Why would a sponsor want to sell ads on a show about actual history?
I'm actually glancing through the ones of the current century. Malepregnancy.com.
God.
Oh my god.
Humans actually evolved from seahorses.
There's one from 2000, which is the Spud server, claiming that it's a web server powered completely by potatoes.
Well,
oh yeah.
Swear to God, some of the websites I visited, I wouldn't doubt it.
We have, of course, Snowball, the monster cat. Yay, heck, a little bit of editing skill there. That got way out of control.
No.
Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo.
Wow. A kid that got arrested, but the kid did end up making $250,000 by putting. This is a college kid, mind you. That a lovely little hoax that caused the share prices of a company to plummet. News went out over a wire service stating that the accounting practices had been reviewed by the SEC and that its CEO was resigning. None of that happened. It's a hoax. But kid made like $250,000 over people freaking out over this fake announcement.
So he bought a bunch of stock in that company as soon as it crashed? Nice.
Yeah.
I've considered doing that, I'm not going to lie.
Apparently, FBI arrested him within a week, and so he didn't get to enjoy the money too long.
Oh, did they actually confiscate the money too?
Let me check. Well, I'll see how long he was in jail for. More of what the fine was, we'll find out.
Honestly, I bet his bail was like $300,000 and he was good to go.
23-year-old college student. It doesn't say. Doesn't say.
How would you pay for this bail, sir? College tuition.
He was arrested under financial fraud. So. Yeah, it under the same financial fraud bills that went into place in 1964 after the Civil War gold hoax. Bonsai Kitten, there's one.
Bonsai Kitten.
You guys remember Bonsai Kitten?
No.
Oh, this was a bizarre hoax. You take a kitten and you put it in a jar, and then it grows to the shape of the jar.
Ah, okay.
Or not.
Not real. There are still people, there are animal rights activists that freak out over this shit. It's a hoax.
There we go. My connection's back. Yeah, I didn't hear it. Did you find how long he was in jail or whatever?
Oh no, I haven't found it. I'd have to look it up separately. They don't have it listed on here. I'll write to the editor at some point and say, dude, what the fuck?
So that's sort of a case of where you end up fooling people who are like so single-mindedly determined, focused on one thing, their one little issue, animal rights, and so the possibility that cats could be jar-shaped because of abuse.
A photo of a guy standing at a bus stop was posted on Craigslist, misconnections for him, describing him as a gorgeous guy who the poster wanted to meet. This ended up apparently becoming quite the internet thing and going a little bit viral. It comes to find out that the guy that the photo's of was the one that posted it to begin with.
Oh. That's not uncommon.
What a shocker. Another one with a tourist that apparently a similar thing. Wait, what's this? Tourist guy. Tourist posting snapshot of the World Trade Center as a plane approached from behind. Yeah. Another Photoshop.
That's great.
Yeah.
I saw Bigfoot on the second tower knocking it down.
Somebody took a picture of them, had a picture of themselves on the tower that was taken in 1997, and they photoshopped in the plane.
That's
sad.
On September 11th, 2002, so the anniversary, there was a crap ton of edited animated files of the towers going down. I think my favorite one was this dude from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dancing on top of it as it fell down.
Carlton Banks?
No, it was someone else. It was one of his friends from Philly doing his little stupid dance, and as he's dancing, every time his foot hits the tower breaks a little bit more, it starts falling. They slowed down the whole thing to match the dance.
Oh, geez, I wonder if someone took that old game Rampage or whatever with the monsters and like superimposed them on the fucking picture.
There was one with Donkey Kong from the original Mario game.
Oh, jeez.
Pounding his chest as he knocked it down.
Oh, here's a good one. On the 3rd of June 3rd, 2002, the Beijing Evening News appeared to have scooped its competitors when it ran a story alleging that the U.S. Congress was threatening to leave Washington, D.C. if the city didn't construct a new Capitol building that included a retractable dome. The article said that Congress was even considering a move to a town such as Memphis or Charlotte if D.C. City didn't buckle under its demands.
I could see that happening.
Wait. Eventually they got to the bottom of this because it was kind of like, wait, this sounds kind of weird. Well, come to find out it was from the Onion.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when they contacted the editor of the Onion, they were happily to admit, oh yeah, that's bullshit. Total bullshit. It was fun.
Yeah, how many people over the years and how many legitimate news sources have been fooled by the Onion or like Landover Baptist or one of those sites?
Mm-hmm.
I still get friends on Facebook who every once in a while link an Onion story not knowing. It's like, oh my god.
The Mini Cooper Autonomous Robot 2004. Part of a gag they made for viral marketing to promote the car. Bush voters have lower IQs from 2004. Not actually legitimate, but still makes you wonder.
Probable.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That's in the realm of Bigfoot might have been Gigantopithecus or something like that. You know, probable.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, yeah, fake Dow representative. Whoops. On a news report, a guy claimed, "Oh yeah, I'm with Dow." The Finger and Wendy's chili hoax. Yeah, I remember that one.
Whatever happened with that dude that was supposedly doing sign language for the president's speech and wasn't doing anything but flailing his hands randomly?
Oh, that was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
guy,
probably,
oh yes, sister applies for the job, claims no sign language. No, not so much.
he was probably killed.
We have Madoff in here, of course.
Some news agency should find him to do a live interview and ask, and he needs to say something like, "Well, they got mad at me, so I'm voting Republican next year."
Yeah. I'm just a poor black man trying to make a living. Why does Obama want to put me down like that?
They got Balloon Boy from 2009 here.
I remember that.
Oh, Balloon Boy. Oh, yeah. That was
Balloon
fucking...
Aren't they? No, there's not, you assholes.
Did the parents get arrested, if I remember that correctly?
Didn't they get into the White House or something like that?
No, that was a kid. One. The kid said on TV when he was asked a question, what was it like being in the balloon? The kid stuttered out, well, Dad said I had to say I was in the balloon for the TV people. And you saw the look of pissed off on the dad's face as he said that. It was great. While it was happening, I was in the Air Force. My buddy Conrad goes, "Oh, the kid's just in the balloon because Michael Jackson is ordering takeout from heaven."
The Salinas Crop Circle from 2014. It looks just like a circuit board. What do you know? That might have something to do with it being a stunt pulled by NVIDIA to promote their new processor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a gay village. Oh boy.
Yeah, I just read that one. Dude, read the pumpkin spice condom one. That's funny.
What? Pumpkin spice condom?
Two down below the gay village.
You see, that one was
going to be offered by Durex and went viral, accompanied by the tagline, "Because safe sex is important no matter what season it is."
I believe that one, though.
That sounds like it would burn a lot.
Probably. Too much cinnamon or ginger on it, you'd be, yeah. But, hey, it might...
In response to online conversation about the proliferation of pumpkin spice products.
Yeah, but that's believable. Like that, that might have that actually might work.
Hey, if we can make bacon-flavored baby food, why not?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have Durex has like flavored condoms, like strawberry and banana
and grape,
orange and apple. So yeah, it's not that.
This needs a screen share.
My buddy put it the best way I could ever think of. He said, when it comes to flavored condoms, you got to remember they're colored like the flavor, and you got to be really comfortable with your girl if you're going to come at her with a purple dick.
Hang on. Florida resident Jasmine Trudeville made international headlines by claiming to have undergone an operation to give herself a third breast. She did it, she said, in order to make herself unattractive to men, as well as to land an MTV reality series. She posted photos of herself in bikini showing off her extra breast. However, her story quickly fell apart upon investigation. She was exposed as something or other, whatever the fuck name that is, Tampa area massage therapist who had boasted. Crap, I'm sorry, my blood sugar eyes.
who had boasted on their website for being a provider of internet hoaxes. Also, local reporters discovered a Tampa airport police report for a bag stolen from Hessler, subsequently recovered. The report stated that the bag contained a three-breast prosthesis.
Yeah. So this
really weird picture, but strangely hot.
Well, yeah, the tagline would be what? Three-breasted woman exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have like Total Recall, and then you have that old '80s sword and sandal film with David Carradine, the wizard and the sorceress, or the warrior and the sorceress, or whatever the fuck it was, with a woman with four tits.
I can't remember. Did the remake of Total Recall have a three-breasted chick?
No, I don't think it did.
Disappointing.
I don't remember it having a three-breasted. Actually, I don't remember it being anything like the original Total Recall. So
it was all set on Earth, wasn't it?
Almost. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
It's
been a while, but
I had no interest in actually watching it to find out, but I heard it was all set on Earth. So
yeah, I didn't watch. I think I might have watched it, but I really don't remember it because I knew it just did not seem as good as the original. And that's saying a lot, considering the original had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's always the same person when he acts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the same thing he said at Cruise.
Yeah, he's the Austrian Keanu Reeves.
Oh, hey, Navik, I just saw that. I was muting. I saw the video, like where the kid on Larry King Live says that, hey, we did this just to be on this show. It was just funny to see the dad's reaction.
Yep.
Oh my god, he was so fucking pissed.
Yep. Dad said I have to tell the TV people I was in the balloon.
It's like right on live TV too, like on CNN of all places. Like that's the best thing ever.
You know that kid got beaten when he got home.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna beat every dollar you lost us out of your hide, boy.
No, it's not my term child abuse. That's nothing to laugh about.
To quote Team 4-Star, we here at Team 4-Star do not condone child violence. We do, however, find it hilarious.
Yes. It's just funny because we don't know them.
It's always fun when I have to adjust my blood sugar. My eyes go out of focus for a good 20 minutes or so. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's getting close to 11. I could actually end the hangout in 4 minutes if I wanted.
I miss having good eyes.
Yeah, one of the many things you lose over time. Of course, in my case, it's sugar leaching out of my corneas.
Yeah. The Air Force took mine away.
Fairly slow night, though, in YouTube land, apparently. Then again, there's a hangout going in which people are like, sitting there and arguing with fundies, which I can only take so much of.
Oh, guess who's back?
Everybody's favorite chocolate atheist.
Is he?
God, again.
Oh, hang on. What is he doing, a hangout or something?
I don't know. Let me check my subs and see who's streaming. And
I think he's gonna hang out with Forbidden Fruit.
No, Forbidden Fruit's not in this one. It's him, Eve, Tanya, and a few others. And let's not bring up their names right now because I've got.
I was thinking about bringing G-Man in here and ask him how his vacation was and have an actual normal conversation.
I bet we probably could.
I would like to attempt that.
Xbox Fiend. Is that where he is? Oh, that's where Benberry is. He left us.
Is he actively in a hangout? I want to see if I can actually have like a normal conversation with him for 5 minutes.
Pruden, what channel was that hangout on?
He's on his own channel. Go to G-Man's channel.
Oh, he's on. No, I'm saying, is he actually live on his own or what?
Yeah, he is.
Oh well, never mind. I guess I won't then. Oh well, scratch that. That would have been amusing. Actually get somebody having like a normal conversation about stuff that normal people talk about. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Oh wow, that hangout is full of people I can't stand. Awesome.
Oh yeah, get used to it. Get used to it, man.
What hangout are we referring to?
The one on G-Man's channel.
Okay.
people in there. The only person I think I'm okay with is Xbox in that entire hangout.
Xbox isn't in there. No, Xbox isn't in there. He's running his own hangout.
Yeah,
No, Xbox is in there. Look, I'm watching it.
He left his own hangout to go in there? That's a fucking riot.
Sadly, Rand's actually higher on my list right now than certain other people in there.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can have a conversation with the man.
How to deconvert a Christian? Yep, I said it.
I don't know what this is all about. But
Okay, alright, I see. I guess that's Xbox. Yeah, that's Xbox. There's Tanya. I have no clue who that lady is.
I don't care.
Okay.
Huh?
Don't care.
Oh, I know who the lady in the middle is. I can't stand her.
Let's see now. How to deconvert a Christian? First, what you do is you start practicing apologetics.
Oh yeah, Forbidden Fruit's in there
And
too.
then
I
after
don't
you've
really
got
like
the
him.
crap out of them with that, what you do is you sit there and roll them into a hangout to Shanghai them and insist that they're not a true Christian.
I'm
think
guessing some of these people might be from, like, Drunken Peasants Watchers or something.
No, okay.
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't care.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, I by mistake caught part of Drunken Peasants. I didn't get it. I don't know. I think it was the personalities.
I want to know who these ladies are because,
Yeah, well, he didn't post the
we're
link.
women.
Yeah, I don't know. Wow, we seem to be winding down. And apparently, either he's been running that hangout for a bit of a while now, or Google lied about the hour you can start hangouts at. Or it just started, I don't know.
Yeah, my brain is fried tonight.
Yeah, I'm getting a headache, actually. I've had one most of the day. But at least, you know, now that I have my regular insulin back, courtesy of my doctor getting back from vacation, I'm feeling generally much better other than the constant headache.
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm
exhausted.
also tired of people, to be
Mm.
honest.
Yeah.
Well, with the way things have been going around here in our little corner of the community, that's, I think, somewhat expected. I mean, things have been so ridiculous, and it's just been such childish bullshit.
Mhm.
And I understand people wanting to just get the fuck away from it. It got to the point that even Robin Dupre Reed, who tries to stay away from that, even had a few choice words today.
I think I saw that.
She actually, when you sub, still actually sends out the individual messages, you know, thank you for subbing kind of thing. And I was actually thought that was pretty cool, so I made a comment about it. And part of my comment was that my usual try not to get as jaded as I've become dealing with this community as long as I have, and she actually responded that she's already kind of getting there in terms of the whole jaded thing lately.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I also there's other people who are also back. Raoul.
I know, and I don't.
He never went anywhere.
No, he never went anywhere. He's
Well,
just coming back as Raoul. Yeah.
He's just annoying other people. Whoopie dang.
He died and he lived on through his sock accounts, and then his sock accounts held a seance and they resurrected him from beyond the grave. He's broadcasting from a hospital bed somewhere in the southern United States.
That guy's a sucker fish. I mean, the whole drama thing right now is just a fucking shark running around, and he's just one of the fucking sucker fish feeding off the belly.
It's even worse. Have you actually seen, like, now he wears, like, sunglasses to make it seem like he's this tough guy.
I don't know who this person is, and I don't.
It's probably better you don't
It's
know.
Raoul. It's Raoul. She knows who Raoul is.
Well, I don't like know him like.
You don't want to know him.
Yeah.
No, it's like Brett Keane. You really don't want to know him, and once you
Oh yeah, Brett Keane is also back apparently.
He
I don't
never
know how.
went anywhere either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he just got some sucker to open him a new account, and it's yeah. It's at some point I think that needs to be pointed out to certain groups within Anonymous that like shutting him down.
Send V back to Daily Motion, Kerr.
I know. Yeah. You know, Daily Motion is better if you're looking for porn, at least.
Yeah, it's softcore porn.
You know what
That's
else
about
is
it.
better if
I
you're
don't
looking
care.
for
I don't care.
porn sites?
I like the soft one kind.
You want the stuff with stories and emotions.
Yeah,
damn
nothing
right.
wrong with that.
Damn right. You know what? And I take no fucking shame in that, sir.
I wasn't saying you should, sir.
Sir, man.
I
Yes,
love you, man. You know that?
No, man. The
Did I creep him? Did I scare him away already?
I feel like I should try to get Lenny in here just so we can crack jokes about you growing up because you're talking about porn now.
Oh,
We've
sweet.
been trying to get Lenny. He's not paying attention.
Yeah, I still think Lenny. So I kind of pissed him off. I think the
Lenny
other day.
doesn't give a shit about you.
Oh, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Lenny doesn't give a shit about pretty much anybody.
Well, right now he's got his girl and he's got his stuff going on there. So
That's good for him.
when he shows up, it's rare, but when he does, it's always funny because, yeah, regardless of what anyone may say about the boy, I have fun with him. And thus, he is my buddy and my cohort and my partner in crime many a time in these, but nonetheless. On that note, it is past 11, and my headache is simply getting worse, and I'm going to have to go tend to that. So I think I'm going to cut the shuffle at this point, seeing as theoretically I can. Let's see if it'll let me.